my name again is Olubumi Fabanwo, and why am I qualified to come and speak about work culture and productivity, or being productive at work, as the case may be? So I worked in the corporate space for a while. First, I worked with GT Bank. I spent about 5.5 years working with GT Bank in different capacities. I was a relationship manager, account officer. Then I went into customer service. So yeah, I sort of like have that corporate background, but getting into crypto, it wasn't really any different. Although, you know things about crypto people, you're not exactly, you don't want to do the corporate things. You just want to do Ishala and vibes. So when it's bull market, everybody's just dashing money, everybody's just doing everything haphazardly. And when it's the bear market, people are just very low key and people are grumbling, and about crypto startups and all of that. So I'm getting into the space. I mean, it was easier for me to blend in because I had that corporate experience, and I'm also a bit of street, so I know exactly. The bank taught me to be street, so I knew how to blend in very well. So first, before joining Binance, where I work right now, after leaving the bank, I was with Mono. So Mono is an open banking platform, also corporate side of things, but a fintech where I worked remotely. That's where my remote work life started from. Then I joined Binance fully. Before I joined Binance, I started this sort of like a blockchain startup called Banks and Blockchain. So it's just basically an educational platform to teach people about blockchain. Community is definitely not as big as Crypto Bootcamp, but yeah, I started that. But then I had to pen that because I was going to join Binance, and it's sort of like conflict of interest. So yeah, I have, let me say, 1 year experience in the crypto space, and then it's been pretty good because away from working with a very big brand like Binance, I've been able to also build my own personal brand, and being productive at work had helped me to be able to still concentrate on that. So I don't exactly spend 20 hours of my life working for somebody. I'm able to prioritize my time, and we'll be seeing how we can all do that. So I know maybe a lot of us are still looking to jump in the corporate space, maybe depending on the sector that you're in, depending on what your skills are, depending on what Crypto Bootcamp has taught you or is molding you to be. You may just want to jump into the space and work for a bit before maybe you set up. And some people just want to set up straight up. I mean, it's fine. We'll be treating all of that right now because both things are very, very key. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. I have about 30 minutes more, so I'll just rush up this. Then I'll take as many questions as possible. I want to just throw questions, everything that has to do with working and being productive at work, everything that has to do with being productive as an individual, everything that has to do with coping in a corporate environment, like in the corporate space, in the labor market, everything, just straight at me as much as possible. Try to answer them. So yeah, let's get in. So let's start off speaking about work culture. So I'm going to be sectionalizing this: work culture as a startup, as a company, then work culture as an individual, how it affects both. And first, let me just go with what work culture is. 2 words, very easy. Just coming together of different beliefs, attitudes and behaviors in a certain workplace environment. And it could also be you, like, what is my work ethic like? So I'll take it on that part. So as an individual, what exactly is your work ethic? How do you work? How do you see work? How do you get at work? How do you move with work? So those are like the two ways. So I'm saying that Some people may just want to start up. Some people already have startups and are looking at how to build on that. And some people already have established companies and are looking at how to like get employees. So guys, talent is very scarce, I promise you, right now. So whatever upskilling that you're getting here, I mean, I don't know how much we paid for it, but you can't exactly pay enough for being upskilled. So it's a different thing knowing about something. Is now another thing, being able to apply your skill in the right way and being able to even tell someone, let people know that you have this particular skill. So they are entirely two different things, and people really get that, mixed up. So guys, it's very important for us to first develop our skills, then also develop ourselves. Towards the end, I'll be speaking about consistency and all of that. So a bit more story. When I was in the bank, and I just developed this particular love for blockchain technology, and I mean, everything was self-taught. So I reached out to maybe a couple of people, had some people in the space, just speak to them about it. And then I started taking courses. I was still in the bank, so I was working like 18 hours a day. But then, and sometimes even on Saturdays and Sundays. But then I still had time to take my courses, my blockchain courses, like read about blockchain technology, every news, every groundbreaking story, everything about the blockchain space. I knew. Then I started a podcast that used to take place every Thursday by 1 p.m., I think. And then my boss knew that I was doing something like that. So because she knew how diligent I was at work, she would have me do all my work between the day before, that's Wednesday, the whole day. Then I would leave work maybe at 10 p.m. just so that I can go for my podcast at 1 p.m. Then I'll resume my work by 7. I do my work from 7 to 4. By 11, I'm out. And I've gone to do what I love to do then. So I was very, very consistent about that. I kept doing that continuously, and it helped my growth as both an individual and maybe sort of like a blockchain enthusiast, or KOL, as the case may be. So we'll be looking at having a strong work ethic and also being consistent at whatever it is you do and being deliberate. So what exactly makes up, I'll be looking at more of a positive work culture. What exactly makes, or what are the makeup of positive work culture? The first and most important thing is accountability. So you have to take responsibility as first an employee or as an individual. Then, of course, as a business, you have to be able to build a system of accountability. So let people be able to hold people responsible for things. So in Binance, when we are doing a project, we always hear POC. So we need somebody that we can hold responsible for anything that you're doing. And trust me, that has gone a long way in developing each person in that organization. So it's very, very important to first, as a business, say that, Obina, you're the one that is in charge of this particular project. So take charge of it. Everything that you have to give in, you give to it. Who is writing on my screen? So everything that you have to give, you give to it. Then even as an individual, you have to be able to take responsibility for things. So it's not until you're asked to do things that you can just stand up and get it done, because you never ever know what you can learn from things. So people always like to run away from work. No, I don't want to do this. Is not part of my work, so I'm not doing it. When I was an account officer, I'll go ahead and take up more responsibility. And those are the kind of things that helps you to be seen. Those are the kind of things that develop you. So even when it's not your work, like if it's something that I believe that once you take it up, I'm definitely going to first, not as if you are doing any ass licking, forgive my lingua, but then like help me to be recognized and also be able to develop myself. So you have to be able to take responsibility. even in a case where it fails, so you are doing a project and the project suddenly just goes berserk, and you can still stand up and say, oh yes, I've done an overview of it. This is where I failed. This is what I should have done, and things like that. People will start trusting you with more responsibility because they know that even in the event that things go wrong, you can have an overview of it. You are accountable. You are accountable as an individual. Very quickly, let's move to the next thing, equity. So a positive workplace or culture in a positive workplace has to be that everybody is treated equally. Now, let's leave the fact that there are superiors and there are people that are younger people. But then what is good for the goose, like I say, is good for the gander. Treat everybody in a flat structure. So you are coming up with a startup. You are looking at it that, oh yeah, I want to get employees. I want to bring in people. People are only going to join when they feel like the way you speak to this person is the way you speak to every other person. Like when you want to make someone accountable for something, when you want to make somebody give a presentation or report to you on something, you treat everybody equally. So there's no bias. Of course, respect with the increase in levels, there will be respect, of course, definitely. But then, in terms of treating everybody the way they should be treated, that is very, very key. A key thing in a positive workspace. So, as an individual, if you are trying to bring up a business, you have to think about that. Like, I have to ensure my workplace is a positive environment. If not, you will not see talent. Like I said in the beginning, guys, think about talent is very, very scarce. That is why you see that somebody will leave a job today and is in the next minute is getting another job because he has gotten experience from this point and is capable of doing this. Why can't they just go outside and go and look for any random person? Because they trust his talent. They know that this person is capable of this. And even when you are trying to get in, if you are newly getting into a space, it still doesn't matter. So that is where the space of volunteering comes in. That is where the space of being an intern. You have to have shown responsibility towards something to be able to get in. Let me not waste our time. So for a business owner or someone that is starting up a business, or even you as an individual, you have to be more expressive. And a positive workspace will allow you to express yourself. So if, when you don't like something, you don't have to be disrespectful. You say, oh yeah, why? I think that we should have done this. I think that we should have done that. Be very, very constructive when you are giving an opinion about anything. So I won't just say, oh yes, I'm not being treated fairly, or I don't think that this is fair. This is an infringement on my rights. This is not okay, blah, blah, blah. There are several other words that you can use. You have to be able to learn to put things in the right space or in the right words. But then that being expressive is very, very important. So a lot of us may just be told whatever they do, you are fine with it. Whatever they don't do, you are fine with it. Or whenever you are being asked questions, you are not able to just present yourself as bold and confident. That expression is very, very key. And also you as a business owner, or you're looking to start up a business, you have to be able to groom your staff or your employees to be able to, to have that environment where they can express themselves. Even apart from the words of feedback, they can also express themselves in terms of talent. So that way you start discovering what this person can do, capabilities of each person. Quickly, communication. It also comes with expression. So you have to create an avenue where people can approach you, where people can speak. People can come to you with an issue and they can express themselves to you. Open door policy, very, very important. And also, guys, if you're looking to work in places, you should look out for this kind of positives. So if you are going to research about a place, maybe you just got a job, or you're trying to get into a space, you have to look out for these kind of positives, because this is what gives businesses their longevity. Now, if you look at Nigeria, if you hardly find that maybe there's any business that stayed a century. Hardly. Maybe just a handful of businesses have been around for over 100 years. And this is because there's hardly positive work culture. And by the time your employees are dissatisfied, it just keeps going down the drain. It's a downward trend from there. Even as a business, as a community. Yes, if you are building a community and people are not freely communicating with you, you don't have an open door policy, you're not able to bring in people that are countering your opinions or anything like that, able to be smart enough to get opinions both on the left and on the right, then you are creating a negative workspace. And that is negativity in terms of work culture. So even as an individual too, you have to be communicative. So as soon as you don't feel okay with something, reach out to your supervisor, reach out to anybody and speak your mind to them. So my last few years in the bank, I worked in customer service, and my boss, she would always do things that will make everybody uncomfortable. But then people were just, I don't know whether it's respect or they would not say anything. But I'm not that guy. I would never ever be disrespectful. But then I'll say, please, please, can you clarify why you've made a decision, because it's going to affect me negatively. So I don't know if you are able to help me to speak. I will speak, and good enough. My boss was someone that was very also communicative. So she'd be like, okay, Bumi, don't worry. I would answer your question. Let's finish work today. And then my colleagues always say, you are causing problem for yourself. Appraisal, your boss is not going to appraise you well. And trust me, after maybe a few fights, she became the person that, I became the person that she loved the most, because she knew that I would always say it as it is. I'm not interested in coming to please you. I'm interested in making sure that your work is easier, and I'm interested in making sure I develop myself. And those two things can work hand in hand. So when I see that your decision making is not correct, I can just say, hey, hello, I don't know, maybe if we did it like this. And if you don't take it, fine, I'm okay with it, we move. However, I've been able to communicate with you. So I think that we can also imbibe that culture. You have to be more communicative, you have to open up, but then you have to be emotionally intelligent. It's not at every point in time that you just say, hey, I don't think you have to read the room. And that is where emotional intelligence comes in. Everybody must have a certain level of that intelligence. So you have to be able to sit down and think through something before you speak. So you already know who this person is, or even if you do not know, you can study first. I'm not saying once you get into a workplace, you just want to start blowing up and start talking. It comes with time. So you can just study the whole place for a few days or a few weeks, see how everybody's expressing themselves, think about it, and yes, please start getting expressive, start communicating more. And we should all strive to be recognized or to be rewarded. So excellence is very, very key. I hold excellence in high esteem. So it's either I go hard or I go home. If I'm going to venture to do anything, I would ensure that it is clean and crisp. I will put in my best. And if peradventure I do not jump on the stars, I will end up on the moon. But then excellence is very, very key. So we should all strive to get rewards or to be rewarded in the workplace. And even as a business owner, you should try as much as possible to be able to recognize your employees. I think Nigerians, we do it very well. Even when we don't give the most, we still try to recognize employees. We still try to ensure that we give them a shout out, we award them, and all of that. I think I'm talking too much. Let me move on to productivity now, which is one of the most important reasons why we're actually having this. Let's talk productivity. So what exactly does being productive mean? It means being able to put your time to specific things, like I'm going to complete this particular task and I'm going to have quality output. So Binance is the kind of place where nobody really cares what you are doing for all day. What is the result? How you have done it is not my business. What you have done, has there been result for it? You don't come and report, okay, I'm trying to do this, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. You come and report results. The moment you don't have results to report, then you don't report at all. You just say, oh yes, I will be coming to you next week because I would have done this. It's not, oh yes, we are trying to talk to some vendors and we are trying to, no, please. That whole mentality is off the table. And even in the bank too, I remember that it was always about the results. And it's not about the toxicity of that. It's more teaching you to be very direct in your approach to work, more productive with your time. Because yes, everybody has 24 hours, but people maximize it differently. There are people that the same 24 hours, they're able to achieve a million things. And there are some people that within 24 hours, they're able to achieve only one thing because maybe they can't prioritize their time, they can't multitask, or they are not smart enough to be able to get through a lot of things at the same time. So this is what productivity actually is. You have to ensure that it is a quality that we all have to have. We have to be productive because nobody cares for people that are not productive. If you are coming to work every day, look at businesses that fail the most. There are people that have redundant staff. They are not exactly productive. All they are just doing is coming to work and mark register and all of that. So I'll give an example. A lot of people are not a fan of Elon Musk because they feel like, oh yeah, this guy is just he's too brutal, he's this and that. But then, I mean, if you look at it critically, if you own a business, you are not a charity, especially if you are out for profit. You have to get the most productive employees. So why exactly am I having 1 million people to do a job that 100 people can do? I'm not a charity. So despite the fact that you've shown that you have the skill, you are fantastic at your work, are you productive? Like, what do you do in the 12 hours that you spend at work? What results are you able to produce? Because I need to make money. I'm a business. I need to be profitable. If I was a non-profit, then fantastic. I would take the whole world. Everybody come to me. I am the feeder of men and all of that. But yeah, we are running a business here. So that output is very, very important. And even you as an individual, you need to start feeling fulfilled. You know, sometimes, some days I work and I'm just angry with myself because I'm like, what the hell did I do today? So I do a self-review every day. That's also important. So I just like to okay, what exactly have I achieved? And there are some days that I'm just doing activity, zero productivity, nothing at all. It's like I'm working in government and I'm just going to mark register, you know. But on days like that, I'm so pissed with myself. I'm like, oh my God, I need to do better. And you have to be able to, you know, be accountable to yourself first before you can be accountable to anybody. So we'll just be looking at how exactly we can be productive in practical terms. Yeah, I have a few more minutes to go, so I'll just rush this. All right, so how can an individual be productive? The first important thing is for you to be able to track your task with time, because timing is very, very important to getting tasks done. So you have to be able to track every task that you have. You have to put a time limit to it. So we have Binance, for example, we put time. So you are telling me you are going to get this done. When are you going to get it done? Like, it's very, very important. So away from even what I'm being told, I already set the task for myself that, okay, these are the achievable things that I can do. I want to do this particular task. I'm going to set a 2-week time limit to it, and I'm going to get it done. By the way, I also run a startup with a couple of my friends. It's called Port Connect. It's an appointment scheduling app. And this is exactly what I tell my guys, my colleagues and employees. Look, don't come and be telling me you can do 1 million things. If it's 2 things that you can do, give me the time limits, give me the time that you can get it done, and you get it done. So that is one way to ensure that you are getting towards productivity. For every task that you take up, everything that you do, even in your personal life, if you're trying to improve yourself, if you're trying to get things done, write it down and say, oh yes, I'm going to get this done in a week, in 2 weeks. Trust me, it works like magic. So by the time you're able to look at it, go back to where you've written it down, maybe on your notes, on your phone, or you've written down physically. Go back there every other time and check, oh yeah, I'm at 60% to this task, I'm at 70%. So by the time you put a time limit to it, it helps your productivity, it helps you to move faster. So you know that, oh my God, I need to move very, very swiftly because I'm running against time. So first, track your time. Give yourself breaks. I'll be speaking about this in the Pomodoro strategy. Give yourself breaks. So you can't just keep going on and on and on. So at present, I just took a vacation. It's still a working vacation. However, I've been able to take like 2 or 3 days off social media and just refresh my head, because it is very, very important. That break that you give yourself, of course, when you're just starting up now, I'm not saying you should just be giving yourself a break, because if you're someone that is just getting into the system, you have to do that work. You have to be able to, it has to be worth it at the end of the day. You have to earn it. You have to earn a break. But then if you keep going on and on, your system begins to break down. You become less creative. So give yourself breaks. And I'll speak about also day to day, how you can give yourself breaks. Then set and commit to deadlines. So it's also related to tracking your time. So I have a deadline of this date. Set a deadline for yourself personally, away from whatever it is that has been set for you. This is the way to get by. Speaking, I mean some voices. Okay, please, can everybody mute their mics if you're not speaking? All right. Yeah, and this is also an example of what I've learned in Binance. We never book unproductive meetings. If the meeting is not something that needs to be a meeting, then you can type a text and send to the person. There's no need to waste your time. Don't be talking for long. Don't be doing 30 minutes, 1 hour meetings, because all the meeting does is drains you. Even when you're not speaking, even when you're not the main person in the meeting, I don't know whether anybody feels it. Like when I'm in a meeting and I'm not the major person that is taking charge of the meeting, I just get drained, because I begin to think about many other things that I should be doing. So try as much as possible, anything that needs to get, you have to be efficient. You have to run efficiently, not just about, hey, some people have schedules like this. You will see some people's calendars so filled with meetings. And who exactly have you brought in? Like, what sales have you made from all these meetings that you're booking? Is it not something that you could have said up front that, oh yeah, this is the proposal I'm trying to push to you. We are trying to get this community started up, and how quick can you help us? What can you bring? What value can you add to us? And things like that. Just sell yourself immediately. You can sell yourself over the phone, rather than getting in meetings that say, hey, can I share my screen? Can I move on? Do you understand? All those kind of things it gets very unproductive. So this also comes with emotional intelligence, or it comes with a bit more of intelligence and IQ. So you have to be able to know that, oh yeah, this particular meeting I want to book or I'm going out for is just going to be a waste of time. So I can easily just make a phone call to the person and get things done. Forget about perfection. You don't have to be a perfectionist. You don't always have to be successful in things. I know that there's this thing about marketing that whatever your marketing strategy is, if you get 15% success, then it's a pass. And when I was reading about that, I was like, what the hell, 15% is below par. But trust me, for you to get 15%, that means you must have done maybe like 200 people. 200% of people. You must have pushed out. You must have done, a lot more. So it doesn't always have to be perfect. Your presentations don't have to be perfect. Your CV, your resume doesn't always have to be perfect. The skill you have learned, you don't necessarily have to be perfect in it. You keep learning, you keep evolving, you keep being a better person. And also you have to be proactive. It also comes with what I said in the beginning about being responsible for things. So before somebody asks for something, you should have done it. So sometimes when I'm going for a meeting and there was no presentation that was requested, I will still have that presentation on ground. I just put it by the side, just in case I need to show these things. So that's proactivity. You have to be very proactive about everything, your personal business, your personal life, your work in workplace. That proactiveness is very, very key. It's very important for you to get by. And to be able to be more productive too, focus on the biggest tasks first. So when I wake up in the morning, I put all my tasks, everything I need to get done. But then as number one, I put the biggest thing, or maybe something that I've been procrastinating for so long. I just put it up there like, yes, I need to get this one done first before moving to smaller tasks. Now, the bigger tasks are the things that you get probably recognized for. They are the things that people will say, oh yeah, you did a great job for. So prioritize that. Priority is very, very important. That way you become more productive at work. Then final thing is the Pomodoro strategy. So this is it. I have my phone. I set a timer whenever I want to work. I set a timer of 30 minutes for a task and say, oh yes, I need to finish this thing. Oh, sorry, I need to do this task for 30 minutes. Once 30 minutes and my alarm rings, I take a 5 minutes break. Then I come back to it. It has always worked for me. So I find out that something that I could have done for 1 week, I'm doing it in 2 days because I just set my timer. So I could say, oh yeah, for the next 4 hours, I'm going to concentrate on this. It doesn't matter whether I finish it or not. Then I set my alarm for every 30 minutes. Every 30 minutes, it just rings. I take a 5 minutes break. Sometimes I listen to music. I love rap music. So I just listen to rap, just stay chilled. Sometimes I walk around. Sometimes I just chat people up. Then once that 5 minutes is done, I go back to it again. It works like magic. So it also comes to giving yourself breaks, but this is more of a daily kind of thing. So guys, if you've not taken anything out of this, just take this particular strategy. Set a time. Pomodoro strategy is all about setting a time limit for yourself to get things done and also taking short breaks. So you can do 30 minutes, some people do 20 minutes, but I do 30. So I just set something and say 30 minutes, take 5 minutes, then 30 minutes again, take 5 minutes, 30 minutes again, take 5 minutes. So that way you find out that it works like magic. You become a lot more productive than you probably would have been. Let me move quickly. My time is almost up.